Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com. I'm also the author of Fearless Tarot, How to Give a Positive Reading in Any Situation, which is due out from Llewellyn Books this October. It's already coming up. I'm super excited. And it's available for pre-order on Amazon or at Llewellyn Books or anywhere you get your magical books from. It is time for this month's Tarotscope. And for part 2, I'm going to go into the astrological signs of Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. So if you're a Cancer, or you have a lot of Cancer in your chart, this first message is going to be for you. And what you just have to keep in mind for July, your birthday month, happy birthday to all the Cancers, 10 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, and Ace of Swords. So a really great time to get your financial house in order. A wonderful time to reconnect with family. I know a lot of us have been distant from families because of the COVID crisis, but that 10 of Pentacles indicates that you might be finding ways to reconnect, even if it isn't in person, or even if it's in a social distanced way. That 10 of Pentacles is saying family is going to be ultra important for Cancer this next month. And the 10 of Pentacles also encourages Cancer to really feel supported at this time, to reach out to the people that are around you that are helpful or that make up your support network. This could be a time to just feel comfortable and community, and also just feel like you're supported in some way by those people that are the most important relationships in your life. Cancer is the sign of home and family, and when the 10 of Pentacles comes up, it's saying all is going pretty well on the home front. It might be a time when something financially is finally turning a corner, and something that was a fear before is finally stabilized. But I just feel like there's some practical actions and things that might have been done in the past that are really going to have a positive effect in the next month for you. So seeds you've already planted are starting to bear fruit. We also see the 3 of Pentacles for Cancer, and the 3 of Pentacles is not only a card of learning, educating yourself, and getting to know a problem a little bit more intimately so you can respond to it better, but the 3 of Pentacles is also a card of manifestation. On the card, you can see a craftsman who's in the monastery, and there's these 3 monks handing him a plan. And when you look closely at the piece of paper they're handing to him, it's a picture of what he's building. So this is a card of not just drawing up a plan, but actually doing it. So instead of just thinking about doing something, Cancer, this could be the time to actually come up with the plan and institute it. Maybe it's time to also make a checklist, or to really look at what your goals are and get organized in your thinking and just go down the list as well. The Ace of Swords is saying for Cancer this month, it is a power month for you. If you take charge of things, if you really say, all right, I'm going to grapple with this and I'm going to take charge, take the bull by the horns, the Ace of Swords indicates that there's some victory for you. Aces also in a tarot reading always indicate a positive new beginning or even a surge of energy. And when we got Pentacles cards right next to that Ace of Swords, it says that it's time to get things on track again financially. This could be a time of really planning your career, or planning how you're making money, or planning how to stabilize money as well. All is going to be pretty well for the month of July for Cancer. It's really a month to be stabilized in some way. The second sign I'm going to go over in this video is the sign of Leo. And so if you are a Leo, or you just have a lot of Leo in your chart, this is going to be the message for you going forward. And so for Leo, the first card we got is the 4 of Pentacles. Second, the 7 of Wands. And third, the King of Swords. Okay, so Leo has some kind of recalcitrant cards here. Number 1, we got that 4 of Pentacles, and it shows that figure who's holding on so tightly to his coins. He's the miser. And when we look closely at the figure on the 4 of Pentacles, his face is actually really miserable. So sometimes this card indicates that there's a natural reaction to try to hang on to something that you think is making you secure or comfortable, but it's actually making you miserable. And when we see that 4 of Pentacles, it's really saying it's time to take an inventory of your life right now and ask yourself, is what I'm holding on to worthy of me anymore? Or is it even satisfying? Is it making me happy anymore? And it's always a card of establishing new foundations. Whenever we see a 4 in a reading, it's about building that new foundation. So this could be a time where you're starting to question old foundations and say, you know what, I built these structures up, but kind of feel like I've outgrown them. Accompanying that Four of Pentacles figure are all those little towers in the background, and that's reminiscent of the Tower card. And the Tower can sometimes indicate states of denial or trying to keep yourself numb or away from reality because we know something has to change, but it's just uncomfortable. And that Four of Pentacles is saying, let that tower fall if it's become a prison for you. It's important for Leo to do what Leo does best this next year and to take the high road, stand in your majesty, and be unique. We got that Seven of Wands, which says it's time to take the high road. It's time to take a stand for yourself. The figure on the Seven of Wands is getting attacked by these nameless, faceless, stupid people. And we can't see who they are at the bottom of the card, but you don't need to see them because they're all the same. They just think alike, they do the same thing, and they may be against Leo this next year, this next month, because Leo is going to be taking a different tack or going a different direction. Leo, it's so important you stand up for what you know is right this next month. The figure on the Seven of Wands is wearing two different shoes, and that indicates that this figure is a nonconformist. He's going against the crowd. So it might be a time where you're really speaking up against an organization or something that's making you feel pressured, or even against the crowd, and saying, you know what, actually this is what's right for me, and I need to stay true to my heart. And then finally, we got that King of Swords. And the King of Swords is a rather fixed figure, much like that Four of Pentacles figure. He's a little rigid, and we look at him, he's very grim, and even the butterflies, which represent transformation or change, are in stone on his throne. And this indicates that he's really resistant to change. I feel like for Leo, there might be a little bit of a power struggle this next month where you're up against a person or an organization which is really locked in their ways. They're very rigid, and you need to find your way around that rigid system and still stand up for yourself at the same time. You'll never win a full-on battle with the King of Swords. The only way you will win against him is with reasoned, logical argument. And so if something you're seeing isn't right, instead of just railing against it or being loud and yelling about it, really start to persuade and really come up with an argument for why that's not working for you. You're going to stand to have a much better time if you can be reasoned and also sort of distant from the situation through some dispassionate application of logic. And then finally, we have the astrological sign of Virgo. So if you're a Virgo or you have a lot of Virgo in your chart, this is going to be the message for you for July 2020. Emperor card. Two of Wands. And the Chariot. So a pretty nice month for Virgo. Number one, the Emperor is saying it's time to take charge through boundaries. Fours in the tarot are always cards of establishing a foundation for success. And the Emperor is saying that you're ready. You have the wisdom. You know what you're doing right now. And it's time to really just go for it. Also with that Emperor card, he is flanked and surrounded by all these mountains, which can indicate a need for some distance, or also a need of for a strong boundary or a clear demarcation between where another person ends and where you begin. The Emperor is also a card of initiation. So is the Chariot. So if you have an ambition with that Two of Wands that you really want to see launch or get out into the world, this is the time to be courageous and to really go for it. The Two of Wands is showing a figure who is in that state of mind of, I'll finally be happy when X happens in my life. Sometimes we see the Two of Wands when we are on a hamster wheel, where we're like, you know what, I'll finally be happy when I find that great job. I'll finally be happy when I lose 5 pounds. I'll finally be happy when this thing happens to me. And yet there's not really an acknowledgement of the rites of passage you're going through, and right away you're on to the next thing. The Two of Wands is representing the present. So this next month for Virgo could be a time to be a little bit more present at this time. Look at the accomplishments you've already made. Create some strong foundations for future success, but don't be in such a hurry. Don't be so concerned with the world and how you're going to change it, but instead really focus inward and focus on your own life at this time. And then finally we have that Chariot card where the charioteer is leaving behind the walled city and he's being pulled by the sphinxes, which are creatures of mystery in Egypt. And he's going into the unknown. And so this could indicate that you're about to launch out of your comfort zone, Virgo, and go into the unknown. But you're going to be victorious if you're confident and if you trust the mystery of change in your life. This is a time to just make it happen. So that is the end of video 2. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can always catch me at elliotoracle.com and schedule a personal tarot session with me. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful month of July, and you can always catch me every week on Instagram with weekly videos and weekly tarot polls for what is going on for the week ahead. I hope you all have a good week. Be safe out there and do take care.